Emma lived in a small apartment above an old flower shop. Every morning she woke before sunrise, watered the flowers outside the balcony, and watched people pass beneath her window while the city slowly came alive. She was quiet, gentle, and lonely. Most people never noticed her, but one person did. His name was Noah. The first time they met, Emma was standing in the rain outside a bus stop, struggling to hold broken grocery bags while oranges rolled across the wet street. Cars passed quickly. People ignored her. But suddenly, someone ran into the rain and began picking them up one by one. Careful, the young man laughed softly. Your oranges are trying to escape. Emma looked up nervously. He had messy dark hair, tired eyes, and the kindest smile she had ever seen. Thank you, she whispered. You're welcome. That should have been the end. But fate kept bringing them together. Sometimes at the coffee shop near her apartment. Sometimes at the bookstore. Sometimes crossing the same street at the exact same time. Eventually Noah smiled whenever he saw her. And slowly, Emma started smiling too. Weeks later, Noah finally asked, Do you believe in destiny? Emma laughed quietly. I think destiny is just coincidence people fall in love with. Then maybe I'm falling in love with coincidence. Her cheeks turned red immediately. From that day, everything changed. Noah began waiting for her after work. They walked together under glowing streetlights, shared cheap coffee, and talked for hours about dreams they were too afraid to tell anyone else. Emma confessed she wanted to become an artist, but was scared people would hate her paintings. Noah looked at her seriously. People who create beautiful things are always afraid. And what about you? She asked. He smiled faintly. I want to travel the world before time runs out. Something about the way he said it made her heart uneasy, but she ignored it. Love makes people ignore fear. Months passed. For the first time in years, Emma felt alive. Noah filled her quiet world with warmth. He danced with her in empty streets at midnight. He brought her sunflowers because he said roses were too predictable. He took blurry photos of her laughing and kept them inside his wallet. One winter evening, they sat together near the river watching snow fall gently across the water. Noah suddenly asked, If someday you lose me, what would you remember most? Emma frowned. Why do you always say things like that? Just answer. She leaned her head against his shoulder. The way you make ordinary days feel special. Noah closed his eyes, as if he were trying to memorize the moment forever. A few weeks later, Emma noticed Noah becoming weaker. He coughed often. Sometimes he disappeared for days claiming he was busy. His smile looked more tired than before. One night, Emma finally got angry. You keep hiding things from me. Noah looked away silently. Tell me the truth. He stayed quiet for a long time. Then he whispered, I'm sick. Emma's chest tightened. What do you mean sick? Noah slowly pulled medical papers from his jacket. Cancer. Stage 4. The word destroyed her. No, she whispered. He nodded weakly. I found out before I met you. Emma started crying immediately. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want your love to become pity. It would never be pity. Noah's eyes filled with tears. I wanted at least one person to love me normally. Emma held him tightly as snow continued falling around them. I'm not leaving you. You should. I won't. And she didn't. Through hospital visits. Through pain. Through sleepless nights. Emma stayed. Some days Noah couldn't even stand properly, but he still joked to make her smile. One afternoon, Emma found him sitting alone outside the hospital watching the sunset. "You should be resting," she said softly. Noah smiled weakly. "I didn't want to waste another sunset." Emma sat beside him quietly. "I'm scared," he admitted. It was the first time she had ever heard fear in his voice. She held his hand tightly. "I'm here." Noah looked at her with tears in his eyes. "You deserve someone who could stay. I only wanted you." As months passed, Noah grew thinner and weaker. But somehow, his love became even stronger. One night, the electricity went out during a storm. The apartment became dark, except for candlelight flickering softly around the room. Noah looked at Emma carefully. "You know what hurts the most?" "What?" "That I finally found happiness, right before losing everything." Emma broke down crying. "Don't say that. I wish we had more time." She hugged him tightly. "We still have now." Noah smiled gently against her shoulder. "Yes, we do." A week later, Noah's condition suddenly worsened. Machines surrounded him in the hospital room. Rain hit the windows heavily outside. Emma sat beside him, holding his fragile hand, while trying not to cry. Noah opened his eyes slowly. "Emma, I'm here. You remember the first day we met?" She nodded through tears. "The oranges," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "Best accident of my life." Emma pressed his hand against her face. "You promised we'd travel together." "I know." "You promised." His breathing became weaker. "I'm sorry." Tears fell endlessly down Emma's cheeks. "Noah, please don't leave me." He looked at her one last time. And even then, he smiled. "I loved you with my whole life." Then the monitor beside him became silent. Emma froze. The world stopped moving. The rain outside continued falling. Doctors rushed inside. But she already knew. The boy who made her believe in love was gone. Days turned into weeks. Emma could barely sleep anymore. Every corner of the city carried memories of him. The coffee shop, the river, the bus stop. Everything hurt. One evening, unable to bear the silence, Emma opened Noah's old camera. Inside were hundreds of photos, pictures of sunsets, rainy streets, flowers, and dozens of secret photos of her laughing. Then she found a final video. Her hands trembled as she pressed play. Noah appeared on the screen, smiling weakly. "If you're watching this, then I'm probably gone." Emma immediately burst into tears. "I just wanted to say thank you." His voice shook slightly. "You made my last days feel like a lifetime of happiness." Behind the camera, hospital machines beeped softly. "I used to fear dying alone." He smiled sadly. "But then I met you." Emma covered her mouth while crying uncontrollably. "You taught me that love isn't measured by time." Noah looked directly into the camera. "It's measured by how deeply someone changes your soul." He paused for a moment. "Please keep painting." A tear rolled down his cheek. "And when you see sunsets, think of me." The video ended. Emma sat alone in darkness, holding the camera against her chest, crying, smiling, missing him, and loving him, even after death forever. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more emotional and beautiful stories. See you in the next story.